Good afternoon. Welcome back to Three of Swords Gaming. We are going to jump into another Guild Wars 2 new player guide. And hopefully this one will be really quick because my intent is to get through what should be a simple topic in a relatively timely fashion. However, for a new player, this might not seem like a simple topic at all. What I want to talk about is currencies, right? So anytime, let's put it over here so we can see it pretty well. Anytime a new player jumps into an MMO that's been around for quite some time, they are probably going to feel pretty overwhelmed about all the different currencies that are in the game. And this is kind of exacerbated by the current landscape in gaming, which really pushes a lot of currencies to obfuscate hidden costs within the game and try and push players to spend real money. If you're a new player in Guild Wars 2, let me assure you that when you look at all these currencies, and it really is ridiculous, currency bloat is a real thing here, none of this is actually to encourage you to spend real money. That's not what this is. What this is a lot of currencies that have been rolled out as the game has progressed to make new content engaging. So almost everything that you see here is either specific to a game mode to draw people into the game mode, or specific to like an expansion or a feature within an expansion to draw people into that content. None of this essentially is obtained through real money, with the exception of gems and potentially coinage, or gold is what it's commonly referred to by players. Everything else is going to be a product of gameplay. What's more, as a new player, you don't need to worry about almost any of this. Gems, coins, karma, spirit shards, laurels. Pretty much everything after that, a new player can largely disregard. Transmutation charges, fine if if you're big into the fashion game and you really want to look amazing like this character does. That's cool. Like, go bananas on the transmutation charges, I guess. I discussed how to get those, or at least a few options for getting those, in my wardrobe video. You can take a look at that. Research notes a new player might care about if they're progressing through the game pretty quickly, but that's really for advanced crafting, so you're probably not going to feel terribly new by the time you get to research notes. So really, gems, coins, karma, spirit shards, laurels, that is all that a new player has to worry about. Disregard all the rest of this. Alright, so what are these 5 core currencies that we're going to cover really quick? Well, 1, gems. That is the real money invested into the game. That is for the gem store. If you want to buy, this. If you want to buy, aesthetics, you want a certain emote, or you want a certain skin. I'm a big fan of this outfit. I don't like most outfits. I think this one's pretty good. Whatever it is that you're wanting to get from the gem store with real money, that's the currency. So you can see right now I have 590 hanging out in my main account, which is actually enough to get like some things, not enough to get those gathering tools, but certainly like within the style category. You can see I can get this Bloodstone Boogie emote if I want. I don't, so I'm not going to, but you get the idea, right? Coins, gold, in other words, how much in-game core currency you've actually generated. This is the currency that's used on the trading post to buy things from other players. This is the currency that vendors are generally going to give you, that vendors are going to take more often than not for core things within the game. This is how you'll buy materials for crafting more often than not. This is fundamentally the core currency of the game for normal gameplay. These 2 currencies can be exchanged for each other. And that's important to note. So if you want more gold and you want to credit card farm it, you absolutely can do that. Currency exchange right here. Get yourself a bunch of gems. You see that I have the 590 gems. What can I get for 590? Looks like about 238 gold. That's not too shabby. I'm sorry. My mistake. That's the exchange rate's not the same going each direction. 238 gold is what it takes to get 590 gems. You can see it takes considerably more gems to get that amount of gold. Yeah, I'm going to land at like 175 or something like that, even less. Yeah, so 160, 161 gold for my 590 gems, which I'm not going to do, but there you go. You kind of get an idea of, one, the difference of exchange rates, um, a notable difference, like almost 50%, right? But two, you can go either way with it. That means you can buy pretty much anything you want in the trading post through gameplay by earning gold. The exception to that would be expansions. You cannot buy expansions by exchanging gold to gems. Pretty much everything else in the gem store, you can buy that way. So if that's your style of gameplay, to grind, and then get a shiny thing that you otherwise would have spent cash for, like if you genuinely have 8 to 10 hours a day to play in the game, hey, go for it. Like, absolutely. All right. Or credit card farm your gold, I guess, too. That's also fine. I don't fundamentally object to it. I try not to do it. I bought 800 gems worth of gold like 4 or 5. No, it was more than that. It must have been 8 or 9 years ago now. But besides that one event, I haven't done that. Not my personal thing. Okay, we still got 3 currencies left to talk about. Karma. So this is an alternate currency that is exclusive to you. So whereas I could send another player gold, I cannot send another player karma. This is a soul-bound currency that you get from doing things. So you will not get karma from selling something. You will only get it from completing events. This is more plentiful in expansion content than it is in the core game by a large margin. So if you're trying to farm karma, probably playing expansion content is going to get you there much faster. Additionally, World vs. World can actually generate karma at a pretty high rate as well. This can be used to acquire a lot of things. This can be used to acquire things that in some cases cannot be acquired any other way. At the game's launch, it was primarily the best way to get obsidian shards, though that is, these days, not even remotely true. It's probably nowhere near the best way. This number would be probably normal for someone who's been in the game since launch. This would be a fairly high number for a new player. But if you're just playing the game and having fun, probably this is not something that you're going to end up farming by the time you're ready, because you're going to use a lot of this for a legendary weapon. By the time you're ready for a legendary weapon, you're going to realize you probably have like 200,000, 300,000 laying around because you've been playing the game and enjoying it. All right, spirit shards. This is another currency that you might use for high-level crafting or other things that involve the Mystic Forge, and you can see in its description it actually mentions the Mystic Forge. Miani, the person who hangs out by the Mystic Forge, will also take spirit shards for specific items. But again, that's mostly centered around legendary crafting or upgrading certain materials, stuff like that. These are obtained every time you level up, so not in this particular case down here, because I'm actually working on this mastery right now. I got like a couple masteries left, one in Icebrewed Saga and a couple in Janthier to get caught up on. But if I'm just running around the world, every time I would have leveled after level 80, I'm going to get a spirit shard. Occasionally you'll also get them on drop, or you'll get them as a reward for something. But by and large, this replaces leveling after level 80. And that is, because they don't do vertical progression in this game, and so you're not going to continue to move up and move up and move up, you're going to be 80 for years and years. This is the payoff for continuing to advance your character. All right, finally, laurels. So laurels used to be obtained through login rewards, but now that login rewards have been replaced with the Wizard's Vault, this would now be how you get laurels. So one, you can just buy them outright. You can see I've already bought all I can for this period at 10 Astral Acclaim per laurel. But also, like just today, I finished weeklies. Weeklies also gave me 10 laurels. So do things in the Wizard's Vault, you're naturally going to accrue laurels. Laurels are great for a new player for obtaining Ascended. I don't know if this character actually has Ascended Mostly no, but we do have one there. This one wasn't obtained through Laurels. But getting Ascended stuff over here in your accessories, Laurels are amazing for that. Would highly recommend a new player, once they hit level 80, use Laurels to obtain a few Ascended early on and increase their power level pretty easily. All the rest of this stuff, you'll get to it when you get to it. Astral Claim, I suppose, is important, but you're not going to interface it with it here in the wallet because you're going to interface with it over here in the Wizard's Vault. So I'm not going to cover all the rest of these. You don't need me to do that. If you're focused on these top 5, then you're engaging in the game at an appropriate level for a new player. And once you start playing Janthier Wilds, then you'll know what these Ursa's Obliges are, because you're on the map and you're generating them, and you'll see that firsthand, and you'll identify how to use them, which this is also like largely limited to the legendary for this expansion, though it doesn't have to be. And that's true of a lot of this stuff, right? World versus World currencies, specific for World versus World. There's some strike and raid currencies down here that I don't engage with because I don't play those game modes, etc., etc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pay attention to that as a new player. You're good to go. I made this longer than it needed to be. There was no excuse for it to take 12 minutes, but I talked too much. All right. Poor Barb Vale. No one is trying anything with Barb Vale at all. It's a rough life. It's because everyone left the map. All right. You have a good one, and I will catch up with you again soon. Probably going to talk about 1 or 2 more things, and then I'm going to run out of stuff to talk about because there's only so many things that a new player actually cares about. By the time they start caring about other stuff, they're not new players anymore. Thanks. Have a good one.